Hello and happy Thursday. Welcome to the first episode of Ask Mindful M. I'm Mary O, Associate Licensed Marriage Family Therapist, and I'm here to address your questions. Those asks, those questions, those pressure points that you may be experiencing in your personal development or within your relationship. I'm here to support. Give some unbiased feedback, a few ideas, right? Modalities, approaches that you could, take yourself DIY, if I may, to support you in the process. So let's jump right in here. The ask of today is, what are some ways to control or ease the resentment you feel towards someone you love? Sign resistant temptation. Okay, so when it comes to resentment that you may feel towards someone you love, it's important to first acknowledge just that, okay, someone that I love, they hurt me. Sit with that. Understand exactly how they hurt you, what it hurt, right? So that you become intimately aware with how it is exactly you're feeling and what they did that caused you to feel that way. Okay? So once you acknowledge it within yourself, seek to understand it yourself. And then the next step is then to communicate very directly. So I want to be careful here to be direct, straightforward, to allow for the wound to breathe. Think of it like this. You get a wound on your knee or a scrape on your arm. You cover it with a Band-Aid. Now, when you cover something, you cut it off from air. And air and oxygen, all of those things, they help your body heal faster. So when you cover up the wound, it protects it, yes. However, it takes longer to heal it. So when you are open, allow it to be open, allow it to feel it. Communicate directly about what it is that's bothering you. And very much approach it from that sense of, I am hurt because of this reason and because of this thing that happened. So that it's very much honors your experience and it doesn't seek to say anything about the other person, because this is your journey, not theirs. So once you've recognized the wound, you've examined it for yourself, understood it, the next step is you communicate openly about it, being very specific and centering it around you and your journey. And then from there, practice some compassion and perspective, right? So you have become acquainted with what your experience was of it, and you communicated it to them, right? And then at that point, they're going to respond, right? They're going to have their own, response to what your explanation of your experience of your wound is. So then, as you listen to understand, right? And you say, okay, practicing compassion and perspective taking. So take that breath, just how you took that time to understand your own wound and understand what it was about. When you get the feedback from that loved one, because ideally the love is mutual, so they too would like to also make you feel better, right? They want you to be better, right? They want your wound to heal. So that could be your buy-in to practice the compassionate perspective. So as you take in their response or their impression or how they feel about what you express to them, understand what their motivations may have been behind their actions. And this is the hard part. Even if you disagree, continue to be open. Practice the compassion. Take the perspective. Because you also want that from them. So it's a give and take. even if they wronged you in your experience, and seeking that healing for yourself, being open to also feeling for them and considering their perspective. Not at the sake of your own. Don't get me wrong on that. You don't ignore your own perspective and your own feelings. The consideration of it is just a part of it. Because in taking perspective of the other person's experience of you, it will open doors to a mirror of your own behaviors as well, which is a reason why you return. Make sure you do step 1. Do your own examination so you can understand what your feelings are about it. So when the other person brings you their experience of you, you've done that self-work already. And you can have that to add for consideration, how they experienced you and how you experienced them. So as you do that practice and perspective taking, then, okay, when you think about, okay, now, from here, let's establish some healthy boundaries. Because resentment often comes from when there was something missing in the agreement between yourself and the loved one. Whether it's a boundary or perception or whatever may be the case. And so just understanding what is going to be the best set of boundaries going forward that's going to serve you and help you stay healed once you've done the previous steps here. And then to continue to engage in that healing work, cultivate positive sentiment. When your loved one starts to meet the need of the boundary, starts to actively engage in what you said you wanted to see, be sure to recognize that. Show gratitude for the positive interactions that you have as you move forward to continue to heal the wound caused by the resentment. Protect what is new that's created once you're able to go through these processes with your loved one. And if it gets to the point where this may seem like a challenge, you can also seek professional help from, for instance, like myself, a marriage family therapist, to be a bit of a support in that process, that conversations you have with your loved one about the resentment you're feeling, to help and support, okay, what are some new ways to build boundaries? How can I communicate that? How can we start a new pattern? If it's something that was more of a continuous thing that caused the resentment versus a one-off, right? So thank you very much for asking, resisting resentment temptation. And I hope that you feel supported to take the first step. Thank you for listening to this episode of Ask Mindful M. And I will be back next week. Thank you. Have a great day.